Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an Airbus A330 pilot and welcome back to another Discover Airlines Real Ops. Today we're going to fly the A330-300 from Frankfurt to Anchorage in Alaska, one of those seasonal routes operated by the Lufthansa Group. Now, before we start, a quick word from today's sponsor. If you are looking for an air traffic control add-on and one that is not only capable of your standard IFR A to B flight but also things like VFR, data link, and that even offers additional gimmicks such as a cabin crew simulation, then look no further than Say Intentions AI. We are going to use them in today's video, and if you like what you are going to see, then be sure to check them out using the link in the video description below. And with that out of the way, let's get straight into it. Now we're going to start with our standard preliminary cockpit preparation here, and that's going to be engine master levers off, engine start selector, norm weather radar is off, and then the landing gear lever is down, the wiper selectors are both off. Then we can check our batteries, making sure we have more than 25.5 volts, which we do, and then we can power it up. Alright, so external power is coming on as well, and the first thing that we're going to do now is to set our RNP. So we want the delivery frequency 122035 up here and 1 to 1.5, our guard frequency on the second set down here. Alright, we'll listen to VHF1 and VHF2, and we'll also get the interphone up and make sure that the loudspeaker is turned up as well. Lovely. So, while we're waiting for the aircraft to finish its power-up procedure, let's go ahead and
runway
have a look
awareness.
at our flight plan for the day. And this is what it looks like. I did take the latest real-world route that the aircraft has just flown today. So, departing Frankfurt across Germany, Denmark, Norway, Greenland and Canada, eventually into the US, all the way down to Anchorage. Now you can see there is a notable dent in here in that flight plan, and that is for a reason. Today we have some pretty strong solar storms, and in order to reduce the exposure to radiation, the flight plan is a little bit more southerly than it normally has to be. For this very same reason, you can see that we're only planned in level 360, later on flight level 380, but no higher than that. Now, let's go ahead and have a look at the flight plan in a little bit more detail. The significant weather chart shows us that we are expecting a very smooth flight all the way across Greenland, across northern Canada, and into Alaska. Only about an hour before landing, we're going to enter this area number 1 over here, which is moderate turbulence up to flight level 400, basically associated with a jet stream in flight level 330 down here. So we'll see, perhaps we're going to climb a little bit over here, but in general I do expect to be staying rather low today. If we take a look into the airport weather, we can see that Frankfurt's pretty good and clearly runway 25 in use. And then Anchorage has, well, some overcast, some rain showers, and the forecast is pretty much like that. But overall, very good flying weather. Now, very good flying weather is a good point. Our alternate in Fairbanks is also good, but that's a rather important point over here, because the other alternates available would be Vancouver, Edmonton, and eventually Seattle, and you can see that those are just really far away. That's like 2 flight hours. So we are fairly happy that Fairbanks is good today. In terms of our ETOPS flight, we are using Keflavik for the entry, which is good. Yellowknife is also good, and then we eventually have Fairbanks, which is good as well. For the flight plan itself, if we are departing on time, we are going to arrive just about on time, so we are going to take a little bit of fuel to fly some faster than this today. We do have plenty of margins for the weight, so that is very good. We talked about our altitudes already, so let's stroll down a little bit and go right into the, first of all, alternate information section, just where I want to show you that all the other 3 alternates that we have available over here would just really take a lot of fuel, with flight times of almost 2.5 to 3 hours. So really a good thing that Fairbanks is usable today. In terms of the weather itself, we are looking at pretty good conditions up here in terms of the fuel as well. And then we just gotta have a look down here. If we're 1,000 heavier, it just burns 210 more. That shall not be a problem. This one here is more interesting though. Flying some faster, we can shove off up to 23 minutes at the cost of 3,100 kilograms. Now I don't want to take that much, but fuel seems to be rather cheap today. Loss for discretionary is just $80 per ton. So what we're going to do is to take a little bit of extra. We have 59.5 as our standard fuel. Let's round that up. Let's take 62 tons. Then we basically have the fuel to go as fast as needed to ensure an on-time arrival. And I think that's the good plan for today. So 62 tons of fuel it is. Now that leads us straight back into the flight deck. So let's continue our procedures down here. The first thing I'm going to do is actually to load it up. So let's go up here. First of all, you can open the doors down there so that we can actually get our services going. And then we can go into the dashboard, import the Simbrief flight plan. And here it is, Ocean 62, Frankfurt to Anchorage. And then we can go all the way down here to the payload and import that from Simbrief as well. And then we're going to adjust the fuel to become 62 tons. Alright, like this. Apply loads, instant, and that's looking very good. Alright, cool. So our aircraft is loaded. So let's continue with our setup. Now, weather in Frankfurt could be some warmer, so let's go ahead and get some ventilation going. Come on, APU fire test is looking good. ADS 1, 2, and 3 are coming on, and then we can go ahead and start the APU, please. Will you? Here we go. Very good. Alright, so cockpit lights are set, the EFB is started, then we can do the aircraft acceptance. So for that, let's press the recall down here, 3 seconds. And that is looking very good. Right, there is nothing in the logbook. The aircraft is an A330-300, no automatic nav and go around, Rolls-Royce engines, and in terms of OEBs, we have 3 of them. Incorrect vertical profile during non-precision approach, it shouldn't affect us today. Pack flow monitoring, likewise, shouldn't affect us today. And cabin pressure excess cabin altitude, and that one most definitely affects us today. So what are we going to do about that one? Well, if we get the cabin pressure excess cabin altitude ECAM, then we are going to action the memory items regardless if we can confirm the issue on the cabin pressure page or not. Okay, so then let's continue with our preliminary takeoff calculation, and we have Frankfurt runway 25 center. We are going to shorten this slightly just to allow for a little bit of an easier lineup. So 3,900 meters, dry runway, synchronize the weather, and for the takeoff weight, let's see, we are looking at 215.7, so let's say 216 tons. So 216. Config 2, air conditioning off, let's calculate. So max takeoff 255 and rather high speeds today with a flex temperature of 50 degrees. So overall that is looking quite okay. Now just for the fun of it, I did do the very same calculation with my real-world performance calculator, and well, we did get similar results, but at a somewhat lower speed. So we'll get back to that a little bit later on. Okay then, so let's go ahead and start with the rest of our setup. We do need the EFB down here, and we are going to depart from Echo Delta Delta Foxtrot, Frankfurt, charts, airport. We need the AGC and then also the APC East. Departures 25 center, and then we can have a look at the Gulf procedures, and we can pin those too. Let's just verify that we got the correct one, which indeed we do. Beautiful. Okay, excellent. So we can put this one away again, and then let's continue our setup. So this thing is done. Then let's head right back over into the procedures. So, why is the APU not starting? let's try that one again. Okay, so oxygen pressure is good, hydraulic quantities are good. Let's see about the engines. FADEC on, oil quantity is okay. Alright, so the flaps are up, the degrees with the lever, the speed brakes are as well. Let's release that parking brake and test the alternate brakes. And that is looking good. Alright, parking brake is set again. Just a quick check at the brake temperatures, and they are cold. Wonderful. Okay, excellent. So that's our initial setup done down here. Then APU will be there in a moment. Let's turn on the APU bleed. Let's also turn on our lights, and while those are on, we can go outside and do our walk around. So we're starting down here on the static ports, and as you can see, they are in a perfectly clean shape. The AOA vane is checked, and then a quick look at the landing gear and the external power adapter, just making sure everything is in a good shape down here. And that's all looking very good. Right, so going a little bit further forward, we do have our pitot tubes for the captain and the standby. We have the tap probe, the ice detectors, and that same stuff on the other end side. Aircraft itself is in a good shape, no sign of any damages. And as we are going aft, we do have a quick look at the oxygen discharge disc as well. So AOA sensors looking good. Static ports looking good, and then we get to the wing. So the landing light is in a good shape, the slats are in a good shape. Then we look at the engine, make sure that there is no leakages or anything, but this is all looking good. The fan blades are in a good shape as well, no sign of damages. So is the T13 probe. Right, so heading toward the back of the engine, all the covers are closed. The latches down here are closed as well, otherwise things are gonna get spectacular. And looking into the back of the engine, no sign of any damages. Alright, wonderful. Then we can head along the leading edge. Have a look over here, make sure that there is nothing damaged, everything fine. It's just a large wing, isn't it? Alright, the green nav light is illuminated. Down here we do see the white axe. And then we can check the trailing edge, and again over here, no signs of damages or anything, the lights, very good condition. Now let's have a look at the landing gear, and over here we do check everything, from the tire condition over to the brake wear indicator pins, which we have down here, to any signs of leakages or anything the likes. But this is all looking very, very good. So we can already take the chocks away. And just a quick check, no pins or covers. Wonderful, then we can move off. And over here, no sign of any damages, leading edges looking good. The static wick dischargers are all in place. Then the white axe for the trim tank is also there. So APU area is good, the nav light is illuminated. And the same thing over here. And man, I gotta say, this delivery just looks fantastic, doesn't it? Especially with those clouds in the background. That's just really, really nice. You can stop here for a moment, take a little photo. Alright, so outflow valve is in a good shape, and then we can check the same stuff we checked on the other end side. So tire conditions, brake wear indicator pins. Everything down here is looking good. There's no pin installed. That's what we're looking for. Alright, then we can inspect the trailing edge, making sure that there's no bird strike, no nothing, especially depending where the aircraft came from. It came from Africa. You know they have some wildlife there. So the red nav light is illuminated, the white X is visible on the overpressure disc. And then we can go further to the front, checking the leading edge, and then have a look into the engine. Over here, no damages, the turbine blades are looking good. latches are closed, and the same applies to all the service latches over here. Now the engine inlet is looking very good, and so is the other side over here as well, and the landing light and slide valve as well. And with that out of the way, let's get right back into the flight deck and start our cockpit preparation procedure. At least once the textures have all loaded. In the meantime, while we're waiting for that, we can go ahead and get out our sim brief plan. And here it is. Good. And the textures have loaded, love it. So, flight recorder current control, oxygen crew supply, evacuation switch on captain only, and everything is set. Lights are already set, signs are coming on, and refueling is complete, so the fuel pumps are coming on as well. Engine fire test looking good, maintenance panel is checked. On this side, not a lot to do, but we will make sure that you are going to record the PAs for us. And here we go. So, up to the front. Let's see, QNH 1010. And that is set. So, 7th of June is correct. And up here everything's set. We're gonna wait probably 121.805. And then ground control on, weather and turbulence getting calibrated. Tilt can come up a little bit. ATC is set, and then we can go into the FMS. So A330-300, Trent 700 engine, enough database is up to date. And then let's go ahead and clear those crash pad messages and do the flight request. So, Ocean 62 is going to be our call sign. And we've got Frankfurt to Anchorage, alternate Fairbanks, Ocean 62, costing X10, flight level 230. Well, we are going to replace that one with flight level 360 straight away. And the temperature up there will be minus 46. Like this. Tropopause in, let's see, 30 to 31,000 actually. Alright, we're gonna take that. So, flight plan, Frankfurt departure, 25 center, and it will be the Maroon to Groß departure, insert, and for the arrival in Anchorage, it's an ILS approach runway 07 right, Throttle 5, and we're arriving via Puivo. Alright, and insert. So, let's go ahead and cross-check that's it. So, straight at Delta Foxtrot 234, above 800, maximum 200 knots. And then right turn, Delta Foxtrot 133, maximum 220, Delta Fox 131, Delta Fox 138, maximum 250, Tabum, and then Lixi, Lorpa, and Maroon. Here we go, that is looking wonderful. Alright, so secondary flight plan, let's go ahead and create the engine out. That's going to be Frankfurt X5. Should have opened the pilot's waypoint page. So let's try that here, Frankfurt 257/246/25. Store that one, and now let's try that again. What is it doing? Crown X5. Here we go, that's better. So hold 246, right turn, and 1 minute lag time. And then immediate return to Frankfurt. And I am going to select runway 25 left because the ILS for 25 center is inoperative. So that is in here now. Fix info, EDDF, 25 center, 246, and then Frankfurt X5. Here we go. So, can't save the route unfortunately, but we'll have to live with it. But what we can do is to cross-check our Atlantic waypoints. So we're starting up here. After Abara we have 70 north and 100 east. Sorry, 70 north, 0 east. That's checked, followed by 75 north, 20 west. 77 north, 40 west. 78 north, 60 west. 78 north, 80 west. 77 north, 100 west. 75 north, 120 west. And then we've got 73 north and 130 west. So that's looking okay. Wonderful. Then let's go on to our performance. So zero fuel is 153.7. We don't know the CG yet, so let's take 25. Fuel 62. Average wind component is a headwind of 2 knots. So alternate 3.8. Final 2.2 is correct, and the reserves 1.6. Okay, so 0.5 taxi, takeoff weight 215.2, looking good. And now for the takeoff performance. I told you we would use the performance of the real aircraft, so let's do that. Just a quick check for the weather. It's 240 at 14. And of course, the real tool is a little bit slow, so just gotta enter all that stuff again because it does like to crash to desktop as well. Yes, indeed, that's Airbus software for you guys. So takeoff weight 216, and then let's go ahead and calculate this. And the real one gives me a flex 53 takeoff with a speed 160, 160, 163. So let's go ahead and do that. So flaps 2, flex 60, correction 53. And then the speeds are going to be 160, 160, and 163. Wind up 236 versus 237, that's okay. Reduction acceleration, okay. In and out acceleration 1500. Climb derate 1. And the rest is looking good. Alright, wonderful. So now that all this lovely stuff is in here, let's enter Frankfurt 25 center. And then last but not least, we can go over to somewhere down here, step altitudes. And there should only be one that's at, let's see, 75 north, 20 west, flight level 380. So what's that one called again? 7520M. Alright, works a little different in the real aircraft. Alright, so that's our step climb entered. EFOP, well, it's negative for now, but the distance is good. 4209 versus 4203. And that's all I gotta know. Alright then, let's go ahead and set up our FCU, and when that is done, we can already get our clearance. So, quick check of the chart. The one thing that I do not know by heart is the ATIS frequency, because you always have data link for that in Frankfurt. So, ATIS departure 118730.
Two-five left, 25 right. Departing runways 25 center, 25 left, 18. Bird activity in vicinity of airport. Advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read back all runway and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information Yankee.
So, information Yankee is
Frankfurt
on board.
Airport, information Yankee. 2120 Zulu. Wind 180 at Niner. Visibility 6. Sky conditions. View at 4100 feet. Temperature 16. Dew point 12. QNH 1011. Density
Okay,
altitude 600 feet. Transition level 60.
And we've heard the rest. Alright, excellent. Then let's call for clearance. Frankfurt delivery, Ocean 62, heavy information, Yankee requests clearance to Anchorage.
I'll grab that clearance. Give me just a minute.
Yeah, sure. In the meantime, well, we can't really do much, so just gotta wait for ATC to get that clearance for us. Something we
Ocean
can
62,
do.
information Yankee is current. Cleared to Anchorage via the Maru 2 Golf departure runway 25 center. Initial climb to 7,000 feet. Departure on 118.505 squawk 1352.
Ocean 62, clear to Anchorage via Maroon 2 Golf, departure runway 25 center, climb altitude 7,000, departure 118.505, squawk 1352.
Ocean 62, read back correct. Ground is on 121.805, safe flight, sir.
121.805, Ocean 62. Okay, perfect. Maroon 2 Golf, runway 25 center is confirmed, climbing 7,000, that's non-standard, but if that's what they want, that's what they get. Squawk 1352. Okay, departure 118.505.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard Discover Airlines Flight 62,
Yes.
departing from Frankfurt and heading to Anchorage. We kindly ask you to take your seats as indicated on your boarding passes and stow your hand
Alright,
luggage in the
looking good.
overhead bins or under the seats in front of you.
Then let's go ahead and
If you
start with
need
our
any
departure
assistance,
briefing, please.
Please don't hesitate to reach out to our friendly crew members, including myself, Mara,
Okay,
and my
Frankfurt
colleagues
25 Center,
Lucas,
Maroon 2
Anna,
Golf
and Sarah.
departure,
We're
initial
here to help.
7,000,
Thank
MSA
you for choosing Discover Airlines and
4,300.
enjoy your flight.
Extra fuel and time, 2,000 kilos for roughly 20 minutes. Thanks for that. And we have no hotspots for our taxi out. Well, basically everything that has wheels is a hotspot on this airport, so good look out for any vehicles that might be moving around. Apart from that, we have no specials. Stop margin for rejected takeoff is going to be 456 meters. Engine outset straight out 25 miles, Frankfurt X-ray 5, climbing 5,000, that keeps us above the MSA. Then southern traffic pattern, back for runway 25 left, perhaps 25 center if that's what ATC wants. Weather is kinda okay to come back with a visual approach if needed. We are above the maximum landing weight by quite a margin, so we are going to do the overweight landing procedure if time permits. In general, I want to take things slow. No rush, there is absolutely no need to. Unless the aircraft is on fire and we can't extinguish it, then we're just going to fly southern traffic pattern, come back runway 25 left or center, depending on what ATC favors. If there is no engine fire, start the APU, turn on APU bleed. That is the core point of the overweight landing procedure. However, if there is any indication of fire, be it APU or engines, then we're not going to do that, of course. Now, I have nothing special or non-standard here. Do you see any threats? No? Beautiful, me neither. Cockpit preparation checklist, please. Gear pits and covers, removed. Fuel quantity, 61,940 kilograms balanced. Seatbelts on, ADRs, nav, and barrel ref, QNH 1011. Cockpit preparation checklist complete. Next, let's do the NAT HLA guideline. So aircraft acceptance, ETOPS PDSC checked, RVSM equipment checked, clock and GPS mode checked, HF checked, message log erased, ADSC armed, auto position reports off, IRS full alignment performed, ground speed 0, NAT HLA waypoints on OFP versus primary flight plan cost checked, wind data. That's actually something we didn't do. Let's just request those again. Entered. NAT HLA guideline complete down to oceanic entry. So this is the moment for the load sheet to arrive. So let's see, zero fuel, 153.7 and 26.4. So 153.7 is correct and 26.4. Alright, take away 215.2. We have calculated for 216, that's good, so we can keep our settings and 3.4 units trim. Perfect, set. Alright, wonderful. So all this good stuff is completed. Then let's say hello to our passengers and then we can go. Liebe Fluggäste, einen wunderschönen guten Morgen aus dem Cockpit. Hier spricht Ihr Kapitän. Mein Name ist Manuel, im Namen der Discover darf ich Sie ganz herzlich an Bord unseres A330-300 auf unserem Flug 62 nach Anchorage willkommen heißen. Flugzeit heute ca. 9 Stunden. Wir erwarten einen weitestgehend ruhigen Flug. Lehnen Sie sich jetzt zurück, genießen Ihr Flug mit uns und wir melden uns im Anflug mit den neuesten Wetterbedingungen an. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon from the flight deck. This is your captain speaking. My name is Emmanuel in the name of Discover Airlines. Welcome aboard our A330-300 on our flight to Anchorage. Today's flight time will be approximately 9 hours. We expect a smooth flight at an altitude of 36,000 feet. For the time being, sit back, relax, make yourself comfortable, and if there is anything we can do for you to make it more enjoyable, please don't hesitate to ask any of our charming cabin crew. Once again, thank you for your attention and welcome aboard. Alright, so the passengers are dealt with, then let's close up. So, door is closed, doors are closed. Boden vom Cockpit. Okay, Achtung, es wird einmal kurz laut. So, Oxygen Check ist gut. Okay, bitte bestätigen wir alle Checks komplett und von uns hier oben sind wir fertig für den Pushback und können nach der Freigabe fragen. Frankfurt ground, Ocean 62, Charlie 16 request pushback.
Ocean 62, pushback approved, face east.
Pushback approved, face east, Ocean 62. So, Sie können die externe Power dann auch entfernen und dann sind wir freigegeben zum Push, die Nase nach Osten. Parkbremse ist noch gesetzt. So, nach Osten, Parkbremse ist gelöst und Off-Block um 42. Before start checklist, please. Park and brake. Off, takeoff speeds and thrust. V1 160, VR 160, V2 163, flex 53. Windows. Closed.
Captain, the cabin is ready for departure.
Before start checklist complete.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard Discover Airlines Flight 62.
All right.
Departing from Frankfurt and heading to Anchorage. On behalf of the entire crew, I would like to introduce our captain,
So,
Emmanuel,
Boden vom
and our
Cockpit.
first officer,
Wir sind dann
Amanda.
bereit für den
Joining me
Triebwerksstart in der
today
Sequenz
are our
1 dann
wonderful
2.
colleagues Lucas, Anna, Tim, and Sarah. We are thrilled to have you
Okay,
with us.
starten wir 1.
As we prepare for takeoff,
Engine
please
one
ensure
start.
that your seatbelts are fastened. To fasten your seatbelt, insert the metal tip into the buckle until you hear a click. To release it, simply lift the buckle. In the unlikely event of a loss of cabin pressure, oxygen masks will drop down from the panel above you. Pull the mask towards you to start the flow of oxygen. Place it over your nose and mouth and secure it with the elastic band. Remember to put on your own mask before assisting others. For our overwater flight, life vests are located under your seat. To use them, pull the vest out, slip it over your head, and pull the straps to tighten. Inflate the vest by pulling the red tabs or by blowing into the tubes. In the event of an evacuation, please leave your luggage behind and proceed to the nearest exit. We have emergency exits located at the front,
Und
middle,
dann
and rear
Start
of
auf
the
der
cabin.
1, wir starten die 2.
Please take a moment to locate the exit nearest to you, keeping in mind that it may be behind you.
So,
The expected flight time
number
today is
1
approximately 9 hours.
is
We will be
rail.
cruising at an
Engine
altitude of
2 start.
23,000 feet. Once we reach cruising altitude, we will be offering a selection of items from the Discover Airlines shop, so keep an eye out for that. Thank you for choosing Discover Airlines, and we wish you a pleasant flight.
So, number 2 is starting. So, you cannot stop the pushback here. Okay, bitte die Bremse setzen. Bremse ist gesetzt. Alright, looking good. And here everything is good as well. We should of course have some oil pressure already. Oh, look at that, it just jumps up to 58. That's of course not how it would work in the real plane, but here we go, avail. So, 2 Go, du startest den Flieger zum Rollen vorbereiten. Freizeichen auf der linken Seite, wir wünschen noch einen schönen Abend. Tschüss. Alright, so 28.2%, that looks pretty much correct. So here's the tuck, even though I'm not sure what it's doing with its wheels down there. There's a tow bar as well. And here's a lady holding a pin in the hands. Beautiful. Clear signal received after start checklist. RTOS off, here comes status, checked, pitch trim, 28.2%, rudder trim, neutral, after start checklist complete. Flight control check. Full up, full down, neutral. Full left, full right, neutral, rudder, full left, full right, neutral. Ocean 62, request taxi.
Ocean 62, taxi to runway 25 center via November 1, Lima 1.
Taxi runway 25 center via November 1, Lima 1, Ocean 62. Okay, straight ahead, right hand turn, and then straight to the runway. Clear left side, clear right side. And the brake is released. Let's go. Brake check. Pressure 0. And I have no changes to the takeoff briefing. Just waiting for the cabin. So here comes our first threat of the day, that road crossing November 1 over here, because there might most certainly be some vehicles over there. So slowly into the turn. See, that's what I mean. And they are not gonna stop for you. In theory, of course, they do. So, clear left side, clear right side. Looks like they are still hard at work in the back there. The good thing is, from those Charlie gates, ATC knows that you may not necessarily be ready yet. Normally they put you into November 1 and then give you a whole shot of Lima, but...
Ocean 62, contact tower on 136.5.
136.5, Ocean 60. Okay, taxi checklist, flight controls, checked, flap setting, config 2, radar predictive wind shear, on and auto, engine start selector, norm, ECAM memo, takeoff no loop, taxi checklist complete. Frankfurt Tower, Ocean 62 Heavy and ready for departure.
Ocean 62 Frankfurt Tower, runway 25C, winds 180 at 9er, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 25 center, cleared for takeoff, Ocean 62. Cabin crew, prepare for departure. So, lineup checklist. Takeoff runway, 25 center, full length. TCAS, TARA, Packs 1 and 2, off, lineup checklist complete. Are you ready for rolling takeoff?
On runway 25 center.
Check. And take off. Flex 53 SRS runway auto thrust blue. Thrust set. Knots checked. Rotate. Positive climb. Gear up. Nav checked.
Ocean 62, contact departure on 118.505.
118.505, Ocean 62. Thrust decline 1, climb, auto thrust. Flaps 1. Speed checked. Flaps 1. Long radar, Ocean 62 Heavy, passing 2000, climbing, flight level 70.
Ocean 62, Frankfurt departure identified. Climb flight level 050.
Climb flight level 050, Ocean 62. That is an incorrect instruction. It should be altitude 5000, not flight level 50. But anyway, 5000 blue.
Ocean 62, climb flight level 200.
Ocean 62, climb flight level 200. So 20,000 blue, flap 0. Speed checked. Flaps 0. So 17 degrees outside, we don't need anti-ice to enter those clouds. And then acceleration flow pattern. Flips up, speed brakes retracted, landing gear up, and packs on. Sets down out. what's wrong down here? It doesn't want to go to standard, huh? Well, in that case, we're going to do it this way. So, standard cross-check, passing flight level 56. Now. And we've got to write down the standard button on the Asus. That one is broken. Oh well, would have been too easy if there were no technical defects on this one. So, might get a little bit bumpy over there. Can we do anything about it? Yeah, perhaps. Ocean 62 requests heading 3302 to avoid weather.
Ocean 62, climb flight level 230.
Ocean 62, climb flight level 230. Ocean 62 requests heading 330 to avoid weather.
Ocean 62, heading 330, approved to avoid weather.
Heading 330 approved, Ocean 62. Up climb heading 330. Autopilot 1. So we'll just maintain that heading to climb above the clouds, and once we're above the weather, then we can turn back en route. So we could probably turn another like 20 degrees to the right. Ocean 62, request heading 350.
Ocean 62, heading 350, approved.
Heading 350 approved, Ocean 62. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. What's the temperatures? +8. Engine anti-ice on. I have a feeling going to Alaska, we are going to need that a little bit more often on this flight. So, it's getting much brighter outside. Looks like we're approaching the tops. And I'll tell you what, let's just
Dear guests,
maintain
we are
that
now
speed
above the
here,
safe altitude,
just
and I'm
until we're
pleased to
out of the
inform you that
clouds.
the use of electronic devices is now allowed.
So passing 10,000.
Feel free to connect to our
Lights off.
onboard
We'll
Wi-Fi service
maintain
if you
the
wish.
seatbelt signs
We'll be
on
cruising for a
now.
while, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. Thank you for choosing Discover Airlines.
So this is looking all good. Yeah, I think we're pretty clear. Let's see, any good direct available? We can always ask for Atus. Ocean 62, clear of weather, request to proceed direct to Atus.
Ocean 62, proceed direct to Atlas, approved.
Direct to Atus approved, Ocean 62. Very nice. That is a good one. So, Atus. And insert. Not warp, huh? What are you doing? Atus. That one. That is looking better. Direct to Atus. Okay, and we're getting clear. Engine anti-ice off. Manage speed. We might just about enter that stuff over there again. Let's see, I hope we'll be able to outclimb it. In the meantime, let's tilt that weather radar down a bit. Not that it would do anything in the sim, but just for good measure. And with that, we are out of Frankfurt and en route to Alaska. So my friends, sit back, relax, enjoy the flight, and if there is anything important, I will let you know. Alright, my friends, so the top
Ocean
of the descent
62,
is nearing.
expect the Tagger 9er arrival. I'll call your descent in roughly 20 minutes. Say the word if you want to descend sooner. Direct Tagger.
Expect the Tagger 9 arrival. Direct Tagger, Ocean 62.
So you've heard it. Looks like we got to reprogram it a little bit. So let's go ahead and start with that. And first thing first, we're going to fly direct to that waypoint, that's Takeoff. So at the moment they expect us to fly the RNAV approach for runway 33. Let's actually go ahead and have a look if that is what we do really expect to fly, because I kinda doubt it. So, Anchorage, airport, let's have a look into the ground chart. That is Frankfurt. That's looking a bit better here, isn't it? So, ATC wants us on 3-3. I gotta say, I don't really see that happening. But let's go ahead and listen to the ATIS to see what we're really up to. So that's 135.5.
Zulu. Line 335 at 4. Visibility 10. Sky conditions. View at 2,000 feet, broken at 5,500 feet, broken at 7,000 feet, broken at 13,000 feet, temperature 9. Dew point 7. Altimeter 2,949. Density altitude minus 100 feet. Arriving and departing runways 25L, 33, 25R. Advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read back all runway and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information, Victor.
Runway
Ted Stevens,
25.
Anchorage International
Interesting.
Airport. Information, Victor. 0553 Zulu. Line 335 at 4. Visibility 10. Sky conditions. View at 2,000 feet, broken at 5,500 feet, broken at 7,000 feet, broken at 13,000 feet.
Well, I gotta tell you, I'm rather not happy with that runway selection. So let's talk to air traffic control. Anchorage Ocean 62, request the Proto 5 arrival for an ILS approach, runway 07 right.
Ocean 62, expect the Proto 5 arrival for the ILS approach to runway 07 right.
Ocean 62, roger. Okay, perfect.
The Proto 5 arrival for the ILS approach to runway 07 right. Ocean 62.
Oh, totally forgot. Our first officer is still running the comms here. Well, that is much better. So that way we can just leave everything here. Alright, so now we know what to set up for. So arrival 07 right, Proto 5, and approach will be an ILS approach. That's a lot easier, isn't it? So, Throttle 5, and we're coming from Puibo. So, that's Puibo to Ali, Talkeetna VOR, and that should be above 11,000. On to Throttle, above 9,000 at 250 knots, and landing runway 07 will proceed via MCO at 5,000, Astley at 5,000 and 230 knots. Then towards Culen at 4,000 and then radar vectors. Now from there we are going to join the ILS approach, and that one starts, let's see, from Elias onto Vivo. First time I see between constraints on an ILS approach. Interesting. So between 16 and 3,300. And then we proceed towards Chile. Start the descent at 7.9 dm, so prior to Chile. Chile is at or above 1600 as check altitude, and we go down to a minimum of 340. And for the go around, let's see, 780, a minimum 600 feet, right hand heading 230, intercept radial 210 from Anchorage BOR to Juke at climbing 3000. And that's indeed what we have in here. So happy with that. So we can tune that VOR, radial 210. So Anchorage 07 right. Then let's see, speed is okay, but let's make that 300 knots exactly. That's a little bit nicer. Alright, 29.49. What's the wind again? 125 at a bit, huh? Let's see, weather. 360 at 12. And 7 degrees. This one says 2953. And the minimum 340. So config 3. And everything down here is okay. 1800 for the engine out acceleration. 50 minutes extra. Secondary is a copy of the active. Okay, so we got a vacate somewhere over here, Golf, and then, well, either the north or the south terminal. Not 100% sure about that just yet. But I suppose we are gonna find out. Alright then. In any case, we'll use auto brake low. I don't want to heat the brakes up too much. Well, and then let's start with the approach briefing. So, we have the Throttle 5 arrival for an ILS approach 07 right. Minimum 340 feet, MSA 5600 in the north where we're coming from. And a couple of mountains with grid moras up to 10,900, 8,900, even 6,000 in the area close to the airport. Along our star it's 2,000 only, but just to have that one in mind. Now, for the approach as mentioned, ILS approach, minimum 340 feet, and around will be a right-hand turn, 3,000 feet. Extra fuel and time, 50 minutes. Alright, flat rector guided ILS approach config 3, and we are going to use maximum reverse. Vacate the runway to the left hand side using auto brake below. Stop margin is over 1,000 meters. Trusting runway 7 left on the taxi in. No hotspots, and well, nothing special, nothing non-standard. So that's pretty much it. Any questions? No? Beautiful, then I'll say goodbye to our guests. Liebe Fluggäste, einen wunderschönen guten Morgen, müssen wir auch sagen, mit der Zeitverschiebung. Aus dem Cockpit hier spricht Ihr Kapitän. Wir werden in Kürze unseren Siegflug Richtung Anchorage starten. Verbleibende Flugzeit jetzt circa 1,5 Stunde. Deshalb schalten wir die Anschaltzeichen jetzt auch schon ein. In Anchorage erwarten wir leicht regnerisches Wetter, die Temperatur jetzt um 7 Grad. Wir möchten uns bedanken, dass Sie heute Discover Airlines für Ihren Flug gewählt haben, wünschen Ihnen einen schönen Aufenthalt, gegebenenfalls eine gute und sichere Weiterreise und würden uns freuen, Sie bald wieder an Bord zu haben. Vielen Dank für Ihre Aufmerksamkeit. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, we gotta say, for the local time. This is your captain speaking. We will start our descent to Anchorage in the next few moments. The weather over there, a little bit rainy, temperature 7 degrees centigrade. Thank you for choosing Discover Airlines for today's flight. We hope to see you again soon, and until then we'd like to wish you a nice and safe continuous journey. Thank you very much for your attention. Well, then let's go for it. Ocean 62, ready for descent.
Ocean 62, descend via Throttle 5 into Anchorage.
Descent via Throttle 5 into Anchorage, Ocean 62.
Descending via Throttle 5 into Anchorage. Ocean 62.
Oh god, I keep forgetting that I have the FO. Let's turn it off now. Let's do that ourselves, shall we? And then I see you a little bit later on the approach. So, things are getting interesting. They've just changed the runway again, and our earlier approval for 07 right is no longer valid. We're gonna choose a new one. So it's gonna be something of the 2.5s. Let's go ahead and have a look into the charts. But that looks a lot like runway 25 right. Ocean 62, request runway 25 right.
Ocean 62, runway 25 right, approved for approach.
So that is going to be the visual approach then. Hoping that the weather is actually going to permit it, otherwise we might have to change to the A330. Well, that's RMPAR, we can't do that. So they are using runways which are visual or RMPAR only. That makes no sense. And when I look at Flight Radar 24, the real aircraft actually landed on runway 07, so I'll tell you what, this just doesn't make any sense. Let's insist on 07 right. Ocean 62, request ILS 07 right.
Ocean 62, unable to accommodate ILS runway 07 right. Active runways are 25 left, 33, and 25 right. Please choose one of these for your approach.
The weather is too bad and we are not certified for the RMPAR. Request ILS 07 right, Ocean 62.
Ocean 62, unable to accommodate ILS runway 07 right due to active runway restrictions. Active runways are 25 left, 33, and 25 right. Please choose one of these for your...
I've heard it. Shutting say intentions down because there is no sense doing that. We are not certified for any of the approaches that it suggests, and the weather is far too bad for the visual approach. So that's all we can do, my friends. I mean, look at that. The wind is clearly on 07. Altimeter 2953. So yeah. First time since I'm using say intentions that I actually have to kill it. But so be it. And looking at Flight Radar 24, the real one landed on 07 right as well. So not much discussion there, and definitely no discussion with it with AIATC. If the AI has made up their mind, so be it. In any case, that's going to be a report to the developers, and then we are going to land without them. Alright, cool. So, lights on, signs on, constraints, LS. Anchorage 07 right is in here, GPS primary, high accuracy, and the engine start selector is in norm. Perfect. So we'll continue to descend via the arrival. They had previously instructed speed 250. We are going to maintain that for the time being. And then we can do the approach checklist, please. So, barrel ref, QNH 29053, seatbelts on, minimum, baro 340, auto brake, low, engine start selector, norm, approach checklist complete. So, 155, but we're not receiving anything just yet. Let's get a little bit closer and see about it then. In the meantime, just to verify that the frequency is correct. Nope, should be 1113, look at that. Interesting, that's a Frankfurt approach that it's tuned there. So, ILS Anchorage, that looks a lot better. 4074. Here we go, that's much better. So, glass swap alive, everything looking good. And that way, all we gotta do is fly down that approach, eventually make our final turn, and that's it. That's the kind of approach I like. And looking at Flight Radar 24, that's pretty much what the real one flew as well. So our earlier restriction was to descend via the arrival. That's why I dialed in 4000, because that's where the arrival ends. So we're here at Kulin. And I suppose in the absence of ATC, we can just resume normal speed once we pass this, however you pronounce this, NH coal, whatever. So, too bad, you make it to Alaska once in a couple of years and then you don't see anything on the approach, huh? Well, so be it. Can't change it at least. Or constant star descent loop. Oh, look at that. Quite a bit of ice actually. Interesting that we didn't get the Ecam. But okay, wing anti-ice on. Let's see if we can notice any drop in thrust when the wing anti-ice clears the icing we have. Man, that's quite a bit of ice actually. Also on the engine. Surprised to see that, even though the wing anti-ice is definitely on, and the engine anti-ice was on for the entire time. Literally all that engine anti-ice does is to warm up the cowling over here, so that is interesting to see. That is definitely interesting to see. So, managed speed. Speed limit 230. At least it should slow down very well with the ice on the wing. Just joking, of course, huh? So, that red seems to be coming in slowly. I have a feeling we're better gonna turn final now. So, left 160, descent 3000. Crest dial open, descent heading. Here's the glide slope, that's good for me. And activate approach phase. So, direct Weevo, radial in. Well, what's that gonna be? Like 250-ish? Yeah, something like that. Not perfect, but good enough. Okay, turn left heading 100, cleared ILS approach 07 right. Factory dual, autopilot 1 and 2, lock star, glide slope blue. Flaps 1. Speed checked. Flaps 1. So, still some ice on the probe, so we're gonna leave our anti-ice on. Now, let's see, the DME reads 2.2 when we're at the runway threshold, so keep that in mind. Speed alt star. Okay, speed 170, flaps 2. Speed checked, flaps 2. I'm just using that to keep the pitch down, otherwise the A330 pitches up to like 8 degrees or so in config 1. Don't need to do that. And with the headwind we are nice, at a very nice ground speed. So 10 miles out, 165 over the ground, that's perfectly fine. So now we just gotta hope that they're gonna turn on the landing lights. Or rather the runway lights, that's what I meant to say. Glide slope star. And go around altitude 3000 set. So I just want to try an experiment here and restart sane tensions. I just want to see what's going to happen when I call the tower established on the approach. And then gear down. Flaps 3. Speed checked, flaps 3. Okay, let's see, tower 18.3. Nope, wrong radio. Anchorage Tower, Ocean 62 Heavy, established ILS 07 right.
Ocean 62, Anchorage Tower, runway 25 right, clear to land. Winds 335 at 4.
Runway 07 right, clear to land, Ocean 60. Yeah, he's insisting. But nonetheless, we'll keep him for the taxi instructions. And he'll probably have a number for us. I'm fine with that. destination, EFOC below min. Oh, we're totally fine. Okay, landing checklist, ecam memo, landing no blue, landing checklist complete.
1000.
Checked. I think I can see some lights over there.
Approaching 07 right.
Checked. Yeah, approach lights inside. Cat 1. Wipers on. Man, we've seen better weather. Welcome to Alaska.
400.
Land. And I shouldn't take so many screenshots.
300. Minimum.
Continue.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
So, spoilers, reverse green, decel. $70 knots. Manual brakes.
Ocean 62, welcome to Anchorage. Contact ground on 121.9er.
121.9er, Ocean 62.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Anchorage. We have just landed at Ted Stevens Anchorage International Airport. Oh, did you know that Anchorage is home to the largest city park in the United States?
So, parking up here, November
And it
4.
offers stunning views of the mountains and the ocean. Also, Anchorage is known for its vibrant...
Anchorage ground, Ocean 62. Request taxi to November 4.
Seated with your seatbelts fastened until we reach our final parking position. On behalf of Captain Emmanuel, First Officer Amanda, and the entire crew, we wish you a pleasant stay here in Anchorage.
Ocean
Local time is
62,
12:52
taxi
p.m.
to N4 via hotel, cross runway 7 left, then Kilo, cross runway 33, then Golf Echo Echo 3. Good day.
Taxi to November 4 via hotel, cross runway 07 left, then continue via Golf Echo Echo 3, Ocean 62. So,
Approaching 0
crossing and
7
then onto Kilo.
left.
Hotel, Kilo, crossing, and once we are there, we're going to check further. For now, let's just get it rolling. So, wing anti-ice off. Very interesting. Look at how much thrust we're using, and the airplane is barely moving. It should certainly move a little bit quicker than that. A little bit more motivation, please, my friend. The real one would not need any thrust at all. The real one would just accelerate on its own, and if at all, you would need quite a bit of brake applications just in order to keep the speed under control. Okay, so crossing runway 33 is approved, then Golf Echo Echo 3. So that's gonna be over here, Golf. Echo 3.
Approaching runways.
And we're clear across. Clear on the left side. And clear on the right side. So, starting APU. Strobes off. Now, Golf is on the left side. So, North Terminal, November 4. No follow me needed. So, left on Echo, which is here. Then Echo 3 is next to the right, and then our gate November 4 is going to be over here. Now, one of the funny things of flying to Anchorage is that you depart Frankfurt, you arrive in Anchorage like 9 hours later, but the local time is only just like an hour later or so. That's time zone differences at their best. So, brakes, 300 degrees, yeah, that's not a problem. It's very cold outside. We will not need the brake fan or anything. So, November 6 over here, November 4 over there, and that's the one we're gonna take. So after landing checklist, radar and predictive wind shear off, after landing checklist complete. So, lights off. So, you gotta be kidding me down there. Well, I'm gonna stop here because I can't even see the marshal anymore. Okay, so shutdown. 1 and 2. Cabin crew, all doors and park. So, engines running down, beacon off, seatbelts off. It's a pity they don't disarm the doors following a proper sequence in this aircraft, Normally it's beacon off, then you wait for the doors and only then you do the seat belts, but as you can see, it works a little bit different in here. Okay, so parking checklist please. Parking brake out shocks, brake set, engines off, fuel pumps off, parking checklist complete. So, squawk standby 2000, fuel usage is pretty even, and 52.7. Yeah, a little bit more than planned, but that's fine within the contingency. Well, and then last thing for us to check is the position monitor. Okay, the IRS is ran fine. And that's it, my friends. Welcome to Anchorage. I do hope you all enjoyed the flights. It was a little bit of a pity that Insane Intentions refused to give us the correct runway, but as you could see with these weather conditions, we were definitely not flying any of the visuals for runway 25, nor the RMP AR approach, for which we are not certified on runway 33. So 07 was really the only option, and ATC should have known. We'll definitely report that to the developers. But nonetheless, if you did like the flight, be sure to leave your feedback in the comments underneath the video. As always, I'm really looking forward to that, as that's the only way how the channel can grow. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you're up for more as well. Finally, if you really love what we're doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. And with that out of the way, I would like to say thank you very much for watching. Looking forward to see you all again on the next one. Let me know another route you'd like me to fly. And then I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one.